Welcome again, everyone. I am Pastor Matt. I am again grateful to be able to lead this session on engagement. I want to start off with a kind of a definition of engagement. There are several. One is the action of engaging or being engaged. The action of engaging or being engaged. One of the things that I want to start off with is, like a 1-minute holler about the challenges of, what's the barriers to being engaged and how we think about that. I do want to do a quick icebreaker and just kind of run through the room as fast as we can, right? And it's called the traffic light. So everyone either has driven, trying to drive, or whatever the case may be. I won't tell on you if you don't have a license and you're driving because of some of our company in the room. But that being said, we have to. So a traffic light means like if it's red, you're not moving, right? Life is challenging right now. You're not in a good place. Yellow is that I'm moving, but I need to make some adjustments. I need to make some lane switches. And green means I'm free flowing. Green means I'm free flowing. So that's just what I want to kind of do to kind of level set a little bit and get our heads in the same place about where we are at this moment, how we feel. So I'm just going to rip through tables and you just tell us your color. All right, red, yellow, or green, red, yellow, or green. I'm going to start at this table.
Okay, green.
Green.
Yellow.
Yellow. Yes, sir.
I'm feeling green.
Green.
Yellow.
Yellow. Yellow, green. We got to figure out that color. This table.
Yellow.
Yellow. Green. All right. Yellow. Sir? Red, yellow. Red?
You just walked in. So
all right. Good enough. Somebody explain it to him later, right? This table here, please. Green. Yellow.
green.
Green.
Yellow.
Yellow. Green. Sir? Oh, between the bites?
I said green.
Green. I'm sorry.
Green.
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 Green. Orange. Orange. That's the yellow and yeah. I get it. Yellow.
Yellow.
Yellow. This table?
Definitely yellow.
Full yellow? Oh.
Orange.
Orange.
Yellow.
Love it. Yellow. Yes? Orange. Construction. Maybe that's what that is. Green. The rest of your table? Green? Everybody's green? Table?
Red.
Red.
Green today.
Green.
Red.
Red.
Green.
Green. Yellow.
Green.
Green. Green today.
Green.
Green.
I'm gonna go with the other group. Orange.
Orange. Orange. Did anyone not go? All right, that would be me. I'm green. Let me tell you why I'm always green, honestly. Whether I'm feeling good or not, I've purposed myself to be intentional about how I feel because I believe my energy affects every room that I'm in a good or a bad way, right? So when trying to engage with people, you have to watch your energy, right? So I have to become something that I need to be and not fake it till I make it because I don't believe in that. And there's no disrespect to people who feel that way, but I feel like my energy affects every room that I'm in. So that means I have to become something in order to help navigate or facilitate where we need to go. So if I'm walking in a building and I'm not feeling good, I have to check myself at the door and say, what everybody else needs is far greater than where I'm at right the moment. So I need to make an adjustment, straighten myself up, and go hard. That's not everyone, right? Everyone can't do that. But I think it's important to understand where you are, right? You should know where you are at all times because when you recognize where you are, that can be the difference between your ability to engage. Now, I was in sales, the director of sales for a software company for the past 20 plus years, and stepped out on faith and walked away from corporate America, a very handsome income, because of my heart, right? Because of my heart. And when I did that, one of the things that I realized quickly was all those skills that I learned there were transferable in an elevator, right? If I'm talking to a client and we're on our way to lunch and we just had a tough meeting, he's talking about pulling out of the business, I literally got a floor to a floor to make a difference. And it started with me, right? With my energy, right? So I had to be green in the elevator. I was yellow or red in that room, orange in some cases, right? Because they just told us they're pulling out of the business. They don't want to be engaged with us anymore. So now we said, well, we came all the way to Texas or wherever we went. We were going to have lunch and maybe go back. So let's do lunch. And we're now in the elevator, and I have a moment to change that atmosphere. And that's how you have to think about engagement. You have to take advantage of the moment to change the atmosphere. So what is that moment? Engagement to who? First of all, you got to think about the critical mass people that we're serving, right? Not just each other on a regular basis, but yourself. It's a thing called self-care. You can't take care of you. Everyone that's been on the airplane know they have that little pitch. They say when the mask drop down, put it on you before you put it on someone else. And I always look around and say, y'all heard that? Whoever I'm with, I'm not helping you. Put your mask on. But the truth of the matter is, you have to take care of yourself. You're no good to anyone if you're not good to yourself. You're no good to anyone if you're not good to yourself. So the question now is, what are some of the challenges, right? And I know we can probably go, at great length, but let's take just a few minutes. We're only here another 33 minutes together, and I want to say this now. It is impossible to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish in 33 minutes. Right. That's why it's important to let the power of engagement be everything you do from this point. Seek out people. Call up people. Just talk to people and understand everyone's different in some way, but you have to figure out where you intersect. Right? And I think all of us can say we're here because of our love. We are in love with what we do, and that's what brought us here today. So we start there. So if we can think about one challenge, and I'll try to, move around the room, one challenge that we are facing that causes engagement to sometimes be difficult. Now, engagement could be with other organizations, with law enforcement, with faith-based, with the challenging or the at-risk people in our communities, even in our homes. What are those challenges? So again, we're going to use the minute to win it kind of philosophy, but chop that down even so that we can just kind of get a lot of things just shared here. And for those that got here today, and if you didn't register, I think we want to try to capture your information. We also want to do some kind of attendance just so that we can, ensure who we have in this room so we can continue our engagement together. So, you got it? Thanks, Kimberly. All right. So, I want to start right here at my right, just roundabout, right? Just one thing. Just shout it out. No pain. Time. We can keep going, right, Ms. Taylor, if you want. Or if you want to pass because the sandwich is better than what I'm talking about.
It's hard, like they're not going to make it. It's like the mental.
Yeah. Y'all heard that? She said, think it's hard. It's hard. So we heard time and then it's hard. It's hard. Okay. Then we'll move to your table.
I actually think what you said about the energy, like finding that energy.
Yeah. Excellent. So we're going to do kind of a self-pilot. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to self-do it so I can bite this sandwich too. All right. Go right ahead. Fear.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Trust. I want to add trust with listening. Division set by people.
Repeat that for me.
Division that is set by people.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say fear, like this young lady here.
Mm-hmm.
Challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Perception.
Mm.
I think like initially people are enthusiastic and then non-committed, and also now how do you work post-COVID in a way?
Yeah.
Because you had so many people that were affected by COVID, so then like how do you like re-engage not only them but people in general? It's something now pretty new.
Re-engage. I like that.
And I would say differences. Differences between people, like because I'm black and someone else is white.
Yeah. Yeah. racial divides, things like that. Got it. Lack of knowledge. Got it. Sir?
I would say lack of joy.
Joy. We need a lot of joy to do this work. All right. Table right to your right. Integrity. Woo. All right. I think you represent your whole table with that word. Everybody nodded. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Belonging.
That's all right. We're good. All right. Sir? Loss of children, so like grief, trauma, pain. Oh, yeah. I got you. Nice. Okay. Thank you.
Say that fear for favor, rejection.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Mine. Go ahead.
I'll say too much to do because they got too many people to help.
Yeah. Yeah.
My instant gut reaction was fear.
Fear. Yes. Yes.
Commitment.
Commitment.
So I used to be green, but now I'm on a red stop, so I can reset, re-engage, regroup, and re-equip,
Yeah.
realign with what God is doing.
That's good. That's good. I'm going to pause for just like 10 seconds and speak to that. You know, if you don't know where you are, you never can get where you're going. All right? All right. That's my 10 seconds. I preached there, y'all. Y'all should. You get used to me quick. I have total joy, and I don't let things get to me. All right.
Hearing God's voice for direction.
Direction. Yeah. Time. Yeah, if I had a tick marker, we had a board, boy, I think I have X's all the way through the time thing.
Continuity and consistency.
Continuity, thank you. All right, continue at the same table.
I honestly have to say, I do not know what we are answering to at the moment. I
Oh.
apologize.
No,
but
that's
I would
okay.
like to know what I'm
Sure.
hearing.
No. So we're talking about the challenges of being engaged. What are some of the roadblocks as it pertains to not just engaging with the at-risk community, but even ourselves, our constituents, or whoever that is? You want to think about it a second, or are you ready?
No, I'm ready.
All right.
Fear,
Fear. Thank you.
anxiety,
Yeah. Trust. Negativity. Did I have this table already? I did.
divided interest.
Divided interest. Wow, that's really good. Jealousy. Wow. That's a big one. That's a big one. Well, nobody has to be jealous of me. I'm not this good looking in person.
And I'm sorry to be said, but I like commitment and perception.
Commitment, perception. An introvert. That's interesting. Another 10-second moment, right? Because Nate is too. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, introverts typically sit and absorb, right? They don't necessarily, but that doesn't mean they don't have great contribution because most introverts are very great thinkers too. All right? How do I know that? Because maybe I was an introvert at some point? All right. Enemy in the camp. Ooh, man, we need more time. We need another day or two. All right, Kimberly, you want to weigh in? More time, yeah. The rest of our guests? Oh, it's fine, Rick. The question was, in engagement, what are our roadblocks, whether with each other, with the at-risk community? Intentionality. All right. Everyone have their heart set. Burnout. Yes. Consistency. Very strong words. And why do we do the exercise of one word? Because sometimes when you put too much on a plate, you focus on everything instead of the one thing. All right? What's the one thing you can control to change the narrative of what you do? Right? Selfishness, right? We can go on and on and on.
Insecurity.
Insecurity, right? That's an interpersonal thing, right? I don't think I can, so why should I? Nobody will listen to me. So here's something I want to throw out to the group. Asset management. Now, I come from corporate America. Spent a lot of time in corporate America. I managed people overseas and people I've never met in a day in my life and hired them through Microsoft Teams back 20 years ago when Zoom was just like non-existent in our minds, right? But one of the things that I realized in doing all of that was I need to know what I have in order to be successful to what I'm trying to do. So the power of engagement and how you endear people to efforts and how you bring people together, you have to first know what you have, right? So skill sets or resources, organizations, who is at the table? And once you figure out who is at the table, then you got to figure out who needs to be at the table. Now, what are the roadblocks going back to that? Jealousy, divided interest, some of the things you said. People don't want to invite certain people because of certain things. Now, I'll throw this one out there because I love to poke this bear. Money. When dollars start coming down, people start, the real whatever. I don't want to offend anyone, but the real them show up. All right? And when that real them show up, it breaks the wheel. One of the things that we began to talk about in the 25th district is creating a model so that, and I also worked heavily in the 15th district. I was co-chair there for a while, and I'm still very engaged with that, is to start thinking about putting together a model that says, if the commander leaves, if this person leaves, if that person leaves, the model is there. Yeah. Right? It's like family structure. Right? So whoever leaves, the structure is there. Somebody could come and pick up a blueprint and say, this is what they did. We may not have to do it exactly like them, but there should be certain things like a faith-based liaison. You know, it should be a thing, who is the officer of that? Who's the CAPS officer? Who are the people I need to talk to? Who are these people that I need to continue to engage with? So when you think about asset mapping and you start to figure out who is in the room, let's do another little round. We just go one table at a time. Not necessarily everyone, but just I'll point and forgive my points. But we'll just say, okay, what resource do you have? What do you have, right? And it could be a word that describes, meaning we have unity if we have nothing else. Or we have mental health resources, or we have this, or whatever that case may be, drive, determination. So I'm just going to, kind of do a point at the table thing. We're going to try to be fast and succinct and figure that out. All right, what do we have?
We have mental health resources.
Mental health resources. Say it again. Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. All right. Okay, no problem. No point. If you want to pass, we pass. Shelley, your table, what do we have? Space to share. I want us to listen real close to all these things. Right? Listen. Listen to what's being said, because a lot of times we don't go because we don't think we have. And we think it's too hard, right? That I heard over here.
Yes, we have a great team.
Great team.
And we have a great team. We have great pastors. We have great commitment. And even if there is some diversity, some issues, it still works out. The community is served, and we come on top. And not because he's here, but we have the best liaison up here.
You got Bishop Medina. Very good, Bishop. Thank you, Bishop.
We have great faith things. We have great pastors like here.
All right, we got it. Thank you. That's it everywhere, right?
Great team.
All right, this table. What do you have? Community can lean on. Desire.
What she said for the 15th is
All right.
Competition.
Everyone has the diversity of gifts.
Diversity of gifts. Love that.
Civic associations, and also we have a North River Commission.
Yeah.
Those are two things that are at work.
Yeah. Excellent.
Youth and children.
Okay.
Creativity and a heart for the community.
Nature table?
I was going to say we have block clubs, civic associations.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, good.
Bibles.
Well, I'll give you some Bibles. We need Bibles. Excellent. All right. Commitment. All right. Excellent. So, if we think about what our challenges are, and we start to use what we just heard to overcome those challenges, it's just a matter of making an adjustment mentally and say, listen, I know what we don't have, but here's what we do have. Now, let's go around the same way and ask ourselves this question, because all the things I'm talking about is really engagement, but how do you get there, right? So one of the things that we need to identify from an asset mapping standpoint is what don't we have, right? What don't we have? What don't we have? Maybe 3 people. What don't we have? We got about 18 minutes. Money. Let me see how much. Yeah, no money. Not enough volunteers.
Times 10. Wow.
Times 10, not enough volunteers.
Support.
Support. Unity.
Ooh, my goodness.
Collaboration.
Right. How to deal with teenagers that have mental problems.
How to deal with the mental health population. Yeah. Trust, I heard. What else? Networks. So, when you think about what's the challenge, right? What should we call ourselves to do when leaving here? Right? What is it that you can individually do to begin engaging in your community, engaging in your subcommittees, engaging? Listen, depending on how big your church is, you probably don't know everyone. Depending on how small your church is, you might not know everyone.
That's true. There you go.
Right? And the reason why we don't know those people because we haven't done something that I think we talked about at length today. Intentionality. Do we go up and try to get to know someone? One of the things that's in the black church, right, was always the fellowship hour, right? That kind of left the church. People were more or less now herding people out. Church is over. Everybody want to get out real quick. It's over. Everybody, amen. God bless you. They sung the roof off the church, preached the devil's in the hell, and man, everybody felt good. And then everybody did this on the way out.
Don't know each other. You gotta get the next
Don't know each other, right? And in some ways, the pandemic made us make a choice. Do you want to know the people that you engage with? So let's talk about that a minute and just bounce around the room. What can you do to engage? Now, not what can you do. What are you going to do? All right? When you leave here today, what intentionality do you have? And then, Nate, if you want to add, I know we were kind of tag teaming this a little bit at some point. I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
I'll take your hand if you want, but you're
I might feel better if somebody touched me.
Connect with one person.
All right, connect with one person. Y'all heard the challenge? Connect with one person, not the person that we already know. Amen. Come on, y'all. It's so easy to talk to people that you know. How about not only connect with one person, but one person that is challenging? Maybe they have a different personality than yours. Man, I said that nice. I think. Woo! I think I ought to leave the room right now. I'm good. But intentionality. All right. One thing you can do. We heard suggestions yesterday.
Work together with one other person, hear what they're doing and see how we can work together.
Yeah. You know what that means, Janine? The art of listening. Salespeople who are really good at their job, and I just reference back to that because obviously I wasn't, I left, right? Y'all. Now, I was very successful in the corporate sector, and I'm grateful for that. But one thing that is taught, or you should have inherently, is an ability to listen well. You have to know how to listen well. There's this thing called open-ended questions, right, in the sales sector. And you ask a question that don't require a yes or no at the end. And people love doing what? Talking about them who? Woo, don't they? They love. You have to almost stop them. But listening is an inherent thing that sometimes have to be developed, but it also you have to be intentional. In faith-based meetings, sometimes people are talking and you have to listen instead of your agenda being so stiff, right? And we have to go to the next thing, go to the next thing, go to the next thing. You know, that's why earlier when I started the meeting, I said we'll do this minute to win it kind of thing to kind of set the tone to try to hear from everyone, knowing that you can. But at least there's a level of respect that says we're going to try. All right, what's something else you can do leaving this room?
You can smile at somebody. Mother Teresa said, peace begins with a smile.
Does it?
Don't smile back.
Smile.
If they don't smile back, smile at them.
And then I'll add, I think her name was Tyra Banks. Something's wrong with me, I know. Smile. Smile with your eyes. We got masks on, but you can tell when somebody's looking at you with love. All right? How about this? And this is something I learned from my grandchildren. Kids feel love. You ever notice when somebody has a baby? Y'all, I'm about to tell on some of y'all. And somebody hand you that baby, and that baby cut up, and a complete stranger can walk up and hold that baby, and that baby will calm down. What do you think that is? Don't answer, don't answer, don't answer. Yeah, it's love. It's love. The power of engagement. You took it right away, right? Because you're engaging. You're intentional. You're listening. You're caring. You're happy about what you're doing. Even if you're in the yellow, orange, red. All right? Even when you're green, don't necessarily mean you're all there. It just means you're moving. Sometimes we can be moving too fast. All right, what one thing someone else can do leaving here today? I'm sorry? I'll take them both.
I said follow through.
Follow through. Again, not only just follow through, but follow up. Now, somebody said this, and I don't know what I think about it. They said you want a busy person on your team because they're going to get things done. I said it depends on how busy they are.
Yeah.
I found myself, I apologized to somebody here this weekend. I said, man, I'm so sorry. Because it's like they're pulling me apart, but I'm pulling my body parts back together. As people are pulling me, I'm doing this. You know, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm being stretched. But I know how important it is for me to be available. Let me say this just from a faith perspective, right? And we wanted this to be kind of a more open discussion about not just where faith leads and guides us, but what do we have to offer just from a humanity standpoint. But I always say God is not concerned about your ability. He's concerned about your availability. Are you available? I've been married, a few years now. Right? Some of you all probably got me beat by long, but we're 20 plus years. And I promise you I still don't know her. Somebody might look at me funny. Why? Because people evolve. They change. When I married her, black was her favorite color. Now it's purple. She didn't tell me. But how did I find out? Just paying attention, being intentional, looking through the closet, wondering where all the black clothes went. And some of the ladies in the room know that the black clothes are still in there. All right, come on, let's continue. What can you do?
What I do every meeting I go to, I do motivational speaking too, but what I like to do also is meet someone I don't know. But I want to meet somebody that can tell me what I don't know. Because iron sharpens iron. So you saw me do today with my group, I took everybody's phone number down. Because you can easily forget everything. But if you start making personal calls, have a breakfast, just call on the phone. I may find out something that you need, like a lady today said, I need to know how to do this. Because everything you learn is not for you, it's for everyone. It's for someone else. So whatever I learned today, I'm going to go back and I'm going to minister this to my team. But get someone you don't know.
Get someone you don't know. Excellent. We're at that 10-minute point. All right. Yes, sir.
I was thinking of focus. Arnie Duncan, not going for mayor, says the biggest issue is violence. And we're here to quell that violence.
Yeah.
But he still doesn't know how we can do that. And I think if we refocus and get tight on that in our communities and really work on what would that take in our community, in our part of the city, I think it could be a great help to the whole.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yes, Maria.
I think one is changing your mindset, how you view things. Also with people. you just can't come up to a person and just assume things. You have to have that open mind. Or if there's certain things, you have to change that mindset. If you have a certain mindset on something, no matter what you do or how you're encouraged, you're going to hit the roadblock. And two, have goals. If you have something on paper, what to do, you're able to follow through opposed to something than just having them like in your mind. And being Christians, we have the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So we draw power from Him.
Yeah. That's good. Thank you.
I say the youth, we need to have the youth sitting on the table.
Man, let me speak to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from the street, I've been
Yeah.
on the street. And I'll let you know now, by a youth and a youth talking, and a child talking, and all this violence going out, once we get the youth out here, listen to what they've got in their heart, in their mind,
Yeah.
we can build this community back together where it belongs to the Lord.
No, amen to that.
Without the youth, we can't do nothing.
Amen to that. I'll come to you, sir. Let me speak to that point really quickly. Youth. One of the things I noticed that everybody, and this is not to your statement at all, it may sound like it, everyone says bring the youth to the table, but when the youth are at the table, we don't let them talk. And if we let them talk, we don't really listen. And if we are listening, then we think we have the answer right then to what they're saying. I learn a lot from little kids. I be in parks and I do a lot of outreach stuff, and little kids will tell you what they want, whether they can talk or not. They have a communication ability, right? And for the smaller ones, they will cry till you give them what they need, right? And we have muzzled the youth because we're not, really paying attention to the cry, right? So when you think about that, if the next thing that I would suggest to you when you do have youth at the table, pull them out a little bit. Figure out ways to engage them in the conversation by asking them what they think about what's going on. Sir.
You just said it, I'm sorry to say this, that was the issue.
Amen.
Right through the list, one thing we don't never do is question. We don't question who, question why, question how.
Yeah.
And so therefore, we stuck there thinking we know it all and we fall in the hole. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
We thought he was wise and they became foolish.
Yeah.
When they became foolish, they gave foolish people.
I agree. Thank you.
Pastor Ben, can I add that
Yeah.
one of the things that I tell my students, because I deal with the other graders, is that parents tend to forget who they were when they were younger. And so we'll sit there,
Amnesia.
we'll sit there and we'll correct our children, and we don't want to deal with their attitude, but we tend to forget that our children are a product of our homes.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so, we send it into the classroom and we think the teachers can deal with that, but we don't want to correct that at home, so we think that the teachers can deal with it at home, at the school. Well, if it doesn't start at home, how do you think that the teachers can correct it? We're only with them like 7 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah. No, that's powerful. That's powerful. Yes, sir. And then at this table.
Well, my suggestion is that when my kids are growing up, you got to be involved. And so, me and my wife would do what you call shadow day. I have 4 kids. We would all take turns. Both of us would take turns and go up there and sit in the class. And the amazing part was teachers were kind of shocked to see us come up there. So, what you come up here for? I just want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And they was like, well, what do you mean? And I've had teachers say, well, you can't come up here. I said, well, for one, we pay taxes. And even if I didn't have any kids in this school, I could still come up here because I'm a taxpayer. And so that's why I say you got to be involved. I would come up to, me and my wife would come up to the school all the time, just on a whim. Oh, today I'm going to do shadow. I'll call up, or my wife would call up and say, well, my daughter here, I'm coming up there and sit in the class. Why do you want to sit in the class? Because I just want to see what's going on. I want to make sure that she's being taught. And it's amazing how the teachers have a different attitude when the parent comes up to the school and just sit in the class.
Yeah.
It's been times it's like, man, this class is so boring. But I was like, I can't nod off. I can't pretend that I'm interested. I mean that I'm not interested in the class because my kids are, my child is watching it, and those other kids are watching it. And to make a long story short, a lot of teachers used to tell me and my wife, I wish there were more parents like you.
Yeah.
Because we made sure that we came up, we want to know what's going on. And we've told the teachers, it's like, I don't need you to raise my child. I need you to teach my child. I'll raise him. I'll raise him. So we used to do it all the time. I had 4 kids. I had to do that. We rotate until they got out of high school.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. So definitely no worries. So we have about 4 minutes, and I saw a hand here. I'll take this last
I
time.
could be allowed to choose to my neighborhood by being a light in the darkness in my neighborhood. Like I just said, there's a lot of young people, young adults, and they are suffering from mental illness and drug addiction. I have a friend who lives in church. His name is Hero James. He's a nurse and a son. He said, you don't know how many people, young adults commit suicide and have mental illness and drug addiction, drug overdose because they don't have no one to talk to. I want to be a light so I can pass out tracks in my neighborhood. So what do they need? You should be a light in the darkness.
Okay. So we're down to our last 3 minutes, and one of the things that I want to leave you with, like a parting thought, is be the change you want to see. Be the change you want to see, all right? You know, when I think about my family unit, there are people that range from a 3 months old to 70 plus years old, and everyone has a part to play in the family. Everyone is important in the family. Somebody takes care of someone, right? And everyone does their part to try to keep everybody engaged and showing love and, you know, and just being able to you know, make sure that everyone's an inclusive part of that. Be an example, right? Be the example. That's mostly what you were speaking to, just being an example. I'm just going to be this, right? I might can't be all the things that were said in this room today, but one of those things I can be. And it starts with me, right? And don't get too caught up in how different it is over here from over there, and how it is from over here to over there. The thing that makes us powerful, believe it or not, is our differences. That's what makes us really strong, because just look at marriage for a moment. If the two people are exactly the same, I don't even have to finish that for people who are married all the time, right? But think about, I always explain marriage this way. When you think of a battery, it has a negative and a positive, right? And it's great when you put it in something, it powers something, right? Because it's a negative and a positive. So because things are different, they come together to strengthen that which you're putting into. So that's what we have to do, right? So that, you know, here's a takeaway challenge. Next month when we come back together, not only do you come, but bring 2 more with you. Bring 2 more people with you. Just and make one of them the people that you don't really want to talk to. That's gonna be fun, right? And the second person is whoever you choose. Maybe you like them a lot, so make it easy for yourself, right? Choose one challenging and one that's okay. They'll go wherever you tell them, right? I don't know which one that is. We have Bibles, I believe cases of Bibles on the way out. I'll tell you why that's such a beautiful thing, because the communities are so diverse. And sometimes I'm out there and like real down in the ring, you got to talk to you, got to tell this in Spanish. I don't know what, you know, it's like my wife said, I'm going to learn Spanish then. I'm like, okay. Wow. She said that and I said, okay. Then we ran across someone who was hearing impaired. She said, I'm going to learn sign language. I said, Lord, I love this one. I would just watch you, because I'm not going to learn none of that. It's not that I'm mad about it, but the point is, without joy, without love, without caring, you'll never engage with anyone. Without losing yourself, all right, you'll never be able to understand the true power of engagement. So I want to thank you all for being a part of this session and thinking that I could share anything, but I'm just grateful to be here. So don't leave here without saying hi or bye to somebody, right? Hello, everybody, and have a good day, everybody. I did my part. Thank you.